Argentina has invaded the Falklands.
This was going to be a full-on war, and I was going to die.
We have to regain the Falklands for British sovereignty.
In my mind, it was a just conflict. We were there to get rid of the invader.
The Falklands and their 1,800 British residents are now under the occupation of more than 2,000 Argentine soldiers.
He went, "Get your kit, we're going to war."
I'm not allowed to say how many planes joined the raid, but I counted them all out, and I counted them all back.
I was 25 when the war broke out. It was actually very exciting. I was a Chinook pilot. We had to put 4 Chinooks on the Atlantic Conveyor, which was sunk. Luckily, one of our Chinook helicopters was airborne at the time. There was just so much for it to do. The nature of the Falklands, with the peat bogs, no prepared roads, if you can't carry troops by air, then there was no alternative. You're walking.
Yomping is the marine phrase for this kind of cross-country march.
We had to march all the way. It was about 80 miles with contour and everything. We had to carry all our kit, which was really, really hard, the hardest thing I've ever done. It was so cold that I actually had 9 tops on and 5 bottoms on, and I was still cold. The capture of Mount Longdon was key, because once we took Mount Longdon, the other mountains fell as well. It was a bloody battle. We'd lost 23 of our paratroopers, and the worst thing for me was when we had to pick up our dead. And it was horrible, really horrible to see our soldiers lying there. It haunts me to this day. But they didn't die in vain, because the Falklanders are so grateful for what we did. The sacrifice we made, and it was a hell of a sacrifice.
The Argentines caved in and British troops marched into the capital.
We were basically told that there's white flags flying above Stanley.
There is a white flag flying over Stanley. Very marvellous.
It was just a really surreal scene, patrolling into Stanley with Argentinian prisoners just ambling around all over the place. We went and freed the Falkland Islanders. They live in a free country, and that's our legacy for them. Huge sense of relief that it's all over and done with, because we lost an awful lot of people down there. I think it's important to remember those who's gone before us, because you know they've paid the ultimate price, the ultimate sacrifice.
This is where you can see the grass has been flattened.
The UK and its partner nations are providing basic combat and junior leadership training designed to enable volunteer soldiers to survive and fight on the battlefield in Ukraine. The Ukrainians are wearing face coverings because it's important to protect their identity so that they are not targeted by the Russians because of the training they've had in the UK. It is absolutely making a difference every day, and certainly the feedback we get is that it's helping keep them alive and be more lethal on the battlefield.
We've had a long-standing relationship with Ukraine. We're not able to fight in this effort, but being able to equip and train the Ukrainian armed forces is absolutely motivating, and we do everything we can to ensure that they leave here as first-class soldiers.
It's okay.
All these people are from all kind of walks of lives from Ukraine. They start off with doing basic fieldcraft package. Then they move on to a tactical exercise, which covers things like trenches, how to live and fight in a trench. And then on to final phase, which is the live firing here, which they've been doing. We have to keep reminding ourselves what these guys are going to do eventually. And all I can do is wish them the best of luck when they get to Ukraine.